For this video, we're going to get some of the more challenging problems from Monday's assignment. You were given 10 different equations that you had to solve. And just to remind you what solving means is you're looking for what value your variable is so that you'll produce a true statement. For example, on number 1, I'm asking you what value does A have to be so that I'll produce the true statement 20 equals 20. For some of us, we can actually guess and check that answer. But when we get to problems like number 9 and number 10, guessing and checking is not the best option. It can be rather difficult. So what we're going to use instead is don't call max through midnight. And that's just a saying we use to remember our steps in our solving process. So let's go and begin with number 5. Whenever I'm solving the equation, what I like to do is I like to write my steps on the side. And I also like to draw a line down my equal sign just to remind myself that the left and right side are different from each other. I can't combine things on the left with stuff on the right. So the first step of don't call max or midnight is to distribute. I'm going to go and check the left side. Do I have to distribute at all? Since I don't have parentheses, no, I don't have to. And on the right side, I don't have any parentheses, so I can skip that as well. So we're done with the first step. We don't have to do it. The second step is combining like terms. Well, I have a negative 7x and a negative 3x. I can put those together, and that gives me a negative 10x. The plus 2 I bring down. And on the right side, I can't combine these. One's a variable, one's a number, so I just bring them down. Second step is now done. Third step says move your smaller variable. Well, I have a negative 10x on the left side and a negative 8x on the right side. I'm going to move the smaller. In this case, the smaller one's negative 10x. And you move it by doing its opposite. Since this is minus 10x, we're going to do the opposite, which is add 10x. So I'm going to add 10x to both sides. These will cancel, so all I'm going to have left on the left side is a 2. And on the right side, negative 8x plus 10x gives me the 2x. And I just brought down the negative 8. Third step is now done. The fourth step is adding and subtracting. Remember, your goal is to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to look at, is there any addition or subtraction attached to my variable? In this case, yes, there's a minus 8. That's subtraction. And the opposite of subtracting 8 is to add 8. And whatever you do to one side, we do to the other. So I'm going to have 2 plus 8 gives me 10. And the 8s and the negative 8 will cancel. And then all I have left is to get rid of this 2. This is multiplication. When you have a number next to a variable, that means you're multiplying. And the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. And 10 divided by 2 gives me my final answer of 5. So 5 is the value we would plug into x in order to produce a true statement. Let's look at number 8 now. Same exact method. I'm going to start with my steps, and I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to start with distribute. In this case, I have a negative 4 outside my parentheses. So yes, I need to distribute that negative 4. Negative 4 times 2h, you just treat these as two numbers. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, and then you just attach the h. And a negative 4 times a 10 is a negative 40. This 8h in the front, I didn't distribute it, so I'm just going to bring it down. And on the right side, I didn't have to do anything, so I'm going to bring the 5h plus 5 down. Second step says to combine like terms. On the left side, I can do 8h minus 8h. And anything taking away itself, that's going to give us 0. So all I'm going to have left is a negative 40 on the left side. The 5h and the 5 I can't combine, so I just bring them down. Third step says move the smaller variable. Well, I don't have variables on both sides. There's no variable on the left side, so I get to skip this step. Adding and subtracting, I have a plus 5 next to my h. So I'm adding 5. The opposite of adding 5 is to subtract 5. So I subtract 5 on both sides. And I'm going to have negative 45 equals 5h. To get rid of the 5, I divide both sides by 5. And negative 45 divided by 5 gives me negative 9. So the final answer for number 8, the answer that I need to plug in is negative 9. And finally, number 10. I'm going to start with distributive property. On the left side, I don't need to distribute, but on the right side, I do. I have a 3 outside my parentheses, so I'm going to do 3 times 2p and 3 times negative 7. 3 times 2p gives me 6p, and 3 times negative 7 gives me negative 21. This negative 3 on the outside, I don't distribute it. I just have to bring it down. The left side, I didn't distribute, so I'm going to bring all the left side down. Now I'm going to look at what can I combine. Well, on the left side, I have a 20p and a negative 10p. A 20p take away a 10p gives me 10p left over. The plus 15, I just bring down. On the right side, I have a negative 21 and a negative 3. Those are two numbers. I can put those together. A negative 21 minus a 3 gives me a negative 24. The 6p, I just bring down. Third step, move the smaller variable. I have 10p and 6p. Obviously, 6 is smaller than 10. And the opposite of positive 6p is to subtract 6p. So I'm going to subtract 6p on both sides. 10 take away 6 gives me 4 left over. Everything else, I just bring on down. For adding and subtracting, obviously I have a plus 15. The opposite of adding 15 is subtract 15. And I'm going to have 4p equals negative 39. A negative 24 take away 15 is a negative 39. And finally, to get rid of the 4, you just divide both sides by 4. And this does not come out to a nice number, so you can leave your answer as a fraction, or you can write it as a decimal. It doesn't matter. I actually prefer the fraction, but either answer is fine. So the correct answer for number 10 is negative 39 over 4 or negative 9.75. Yes, you're allowed to get fractions. Yes, you're allowed to get decimals in your answer.